What a crazy situation this has been. Sam Darnold has been a revelation for the Vikings, stepping in after JJ McCarthy's preseason injury, and has led the Vikings to a 14-2 record with over 4,000 passing yards and 35 touchdowns. This is obviously his career best season. But there currently is no long-term plan for Sam Darnold. He's expected to hit free agency, but the Vikings could franchise tag him if they decide to do so. But we have JJ McCarthy, who just drafted at number 10, I believe. So there, you do have a rookie there. Is Sam Darnold going to be a mentor? Is he going to be your starter? Who knows? But here's my question to you. What do you think the Vikings should do with Sam Darnold?
I think it depends on how they feel about JJ McCarthy. Do they really feel he's the future? They say he is. But do they really deep down in their hearts, in their minds, think that JJ McCarthy is the future after Sam Darnold's had the year that he's had this year? Lots of outlets are saying that the Vikings want Darnold back. Well, they want Darnold back, and they still say that McCarthy is their future. How do those two fit together? And what's McCarthy going to think about that if they do bring Darnold back? I mean, they did sign Daniel Jones, for when he left the Giants and picked him up. He's on their practice squad, and other teams have inquired about Daniel Jones apparently in the last few weeks. But Jones wants to stay with the Vikings. But they say that picking up Jones wasn't an indication of Darnold returning or not, or concern of McCarthy's recovery. He's just there for the 2024 season to make sure that if Darnold gets hurt down the stretch, that they've got someone they can put in there that could help keep their offense running. So I think it's a very intriguing. Darnold's had 4 game-winning drives this season. He leads the 8th best scoring offense. He's the 4th best in passer rating. He says, I'm really stuck in the moment, that he's not looking ahead. He's not looking back. He's 27 years old. He could get a contract that pays. This is what they're saying. I'm hearing this, Nate. $25 million, which seems very low to me based on how he's played this year. How he finishes the year will be a big factor, I think. If the Vikings, wind up in the Super Bowl and they win the Super Bowl, well, then Darnold, man, he's in heaven. He's going to get big offers, and the Vikings would have to be competitive there if he actually won the Super Bowl for them. That's a long way off, so we don't know what really is going to happen. But the Vikings do have $70 million worth of cap space, and so if they want to keep him, they can afford it. There are really only 2 college quarterbacks that are potentially going to start in the NFL next year. That's Ward and Sanders. Also, it looks like a weak free agency class for NFL quarterbacks. Darnold would be the head of that list for sure. They say that if he does get to free agency, he's going to be very selective. He wants to avoid a Jets or Carolina situation like he had and with past teams, which was not good for him. And I'm sure he doesn't want to risk having happen again. What coaches get hired, that could have an effect on where he might go, depending on what schemes the new coaches want and whether they think Darnold might be able to fit into their scheme. He could also leave and they sign Jones to be the bridge quarterback to McCarthy if they really feel McCarthy is their future. So the question to me, it comes down to, do the Vikings really think JJ McCarthy is their future? If they do, then I think they sign Jones to be the bridge quarterback and bring McCarthy in. If they don't, then they really should think hard about hanging on to Sam Darnold, who's really done good things for them this year.
I think if you did a one-on-one competition in camp, just like the Raiders did this offseason between Daniel Jones and JJ McCarthy would blow Daniel Jones out of the water. In the preseason, McCarthy looked like the best quarterback in the draft. He was performing at a very high level. So I think if you had a true competition between those two quarterbacks, McCarthy would absolutely slaughter Daniel Jones in that competition because Jones is not a good quarterback. That's why, besides, injury reasons, injury guarantee reasons, he may get brought up. I saw somewhere we can see Daniel Jones out there for who knows. I don't know. I saw somewhere they could bring him up at least for the active roster. They obviously won't start him because they're playing the Detroit Lions, But when it comes to this, and I'm going to hold you accountable to the Daniel Jones may start week 1 because you and John were very high on that. There's 2 ways they can go about this. One would be you give him an offer. Let's say they do give him $25 million. He doesn't accept. He asks for 50. You could say, okay, we'll franchise tag you for $41 million. Even ground right there. There's always that back way option of just franchise tagging him and shutting him up for a year. And then you could say, well, if he performs like crap for the first half of the season, well, then we could bring JJ McCarthy out there. But this has happened. We just saw it happen. You just signed Kirk Cousins, the Falcons did, to a $45 million a year contract, 3 years, and then you drafted Michael Penix, 8th overall in this exact draft. And we've already seen Michael Penix out there now. So it's not unprecedented to see this type of a situation. We just saw it. We just saw it happen. And I think that if you really had little faith in JJ McCarthy, why did you draft him at all then? Yes, you have you traded up with the Jets to get to the 11th pick or 10th pick or something like that. But why would you draft a quarterback if you didn't like him? Sean Payton loved Bo Nix. That's why he drafted him at 12. I'm sure that the Bears love Caleb Williams, and I'm sure the Commanders love Jaden Daniels, and I think that the Patriots love Drake May. That's why you draft those quarterbacks that high and in the first round. I think all 6 quarterbacks could be great, when they have their opportunity to succeed. I think Drake May is in a very unfortunate situation. Worst supporting cast, offensive line is ranked the worst in the NFL. Caleb Williams, similar situation, just a terrible offensive line. Jaden Daniels is excelling with the talent around him. I think Michael Penix has looked pretty good so far in his only 2 games. And Bo Nix looks like currently the second best rookie quarterback in the NFL. And then JJ McCarthy in the preseason, I know it's the preseason, but he did and was graded the highest rookie quarterback in the preseason. When it comes to Sam Darnold, though, we now see what Kyle Shanahan saw when they brought him in and said we could revitalize his career. And there's a reason why Kevin O'Connell signed him on a 1-year, $10 million contract to then be what would have been J.J. McCarthy's backup quarterback if he didn't get hurt. And now we're seeing how Darnold could succeed under Kevin O'Connell's system. He has instant rapport with Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison and T.J. Hockenson and everybody like that. As well as Naylor, he got a bunch of targets in this past game against the Packers. He had a very, very good game in this one. But it's a matter of, do you trust him enough to give him a long-term contract now? I think if he goes out against the Detroit Lions and has another phenomenal game, 300 yards, multi-touchdowns, 1 or fewer interceptions, then I'm saying you could pay him $35, $40 million a year. Give him a Baker Mayfield contract. I think he's above right now a Baker Mayfield contract. I know you don't think Baker is around the top 10 quarterback, but I'll give him a Baker Mayfield contract.
He makes $30 million.
Right. 3 years, $100 million. Because we have to realize Sam Darnold he has the second most in NFL history, second most games with a passer rating above 100. He has 13. Aaron Rodgers with 14 in 2020 has the most in NFL history. And he already put up 100-plus passer rating against the Lions in their earlier game this year. So there's an opportunity for him to tie NFL history. Not only that, let me just go to this one. Darnold became the first quarterback ever to win 14 games with a team in his first year with that team. He also joined Kurt Warner as the second quarterback ever to win 5 games and throw for 1,400-plus yards and 14-plus touchdowns in the month of December.
Do you think there's something to the commentary that Kevin O'Connell makes quarterbacks better?
It's the same thing as Kyle Shanahan. Yes, I think there is. Because
he made Kirk Cousins look like an All-Pro and was an All-Pro with O'Connell. Look at Sam Darnold. He looks. I can't believe how well he's played. He's getting better now too. I think he had a dip there where he wasn't playing so well. O'Connell stuck with him, gave him a lot of credit, supported him. Darnold bounced back. We'll see what happens on Sunday. That's going to be a really telling game, I think. This is for all the marbles for the first seed. As Mahomes says, winning the first seed is like winning a playoff game. So all the marbles on Sunday, Lions, Vikings, Darnold against Goff. It's going to be great to watch.
I also want to say, I'll just add on to the other example. In 2019, the Eagles drafted Jalen Hurts in the second round when they gave Carson Wentz a 9-figure contract. So, again, not completely, unprecedented when you have this type of situation. We just saw it this offseason, and we saw it back in 2019. And I'm sure there are other similar examples. Tom Brady playing at a high level, Belichick decides to draft Jimmy Garoppolo in the second round. I mean, we see this all the time. Belichick drafted a number of quarterbacks surprisingly high. Drafted Jarrett Stidham in the 4th round. He's currently a backup to Zach Wilson, who's the backup to Bo Nix. So I don't think this is completely out of the water. I think what is out of the water is Sam Darnold.
Zach Wilson was inactive last week.
I didn't look at the active.
Yeah, he was.
Inactive.
I think Stidham's the backup quarterback.
Still, you go to the Broncos and you lose to a rookie quarterback, Bo Nix, who outplays you.
Well, Bo Nix, I see, as the future of the franchise.
Because he is. He's playing at a future franchise level.
Yeah.
Daniel Jones will be released. There is no team that's going to make him. I said this about Baker Mayfield, and I've said this about Mac Jones. I'm doing another quarterback prediction. No team, except barring any injuries, no team will go into 2025 with Daniel Jones as their confident starting quarterback. Not a single team.
We'll wait and see.
Well, you think that you really?
I think he could be a bridge quarterback. I think he could be the Vikings.
Why not just franchise Sam Darnold after a 14, potentially 15-2 season?
Because they're going to have to pay him. They will only have to pay Daniel Jones maybe $20 million. We're going to have to pay him that much. So, if they really believe McCarthy, is that good, and you know what, if McCarthy had stayed healthy, he might have started over Darnold.
He was expected to start over Darnold.
So if they think he can come back and do that, then Daniel Jones will be the backup.
Why not make Sam Darnold the starting quarterback or the backup after leading a team?
Why would you pay a quarterback, a quarterback, and pay him $41 million to be the backup?
Ask the Atlanta Falcons,
basically a rookie.
Ask the Atlanta Falcons.
Well, they did not hire Kirk Cousins to be a backup.
Right, but now he is.
He is now, but that took 15 games to have that happen. 14 games.
Why not do the exact same thing? Sam Darnold's the starting quarterback. First of all, Aaron Rodgers.
I don't think Sam Darnold's going to want that. He's got a chance to start.
Sam Darnold will be the starter. It's Aaron Rodgers to Jordan Love. Jordan Love sat 3 years after the Packers moved up in the 1st round to draft him. And he's a very young quarterback. Sam Darnold's
27. He's going to get an offer that's going to be probably 4 years, 3 or 4 year offer. He's not going to want to take a year or a 2-year contract from Minnesota.
Who says it would be? Kirk Cousins is on a 3-year deal right now.
Because McCarthy is not going to be happy sitting for 4 years.
Who says? Jordan Love sat for 3 years. McCarthy's not sitting. He's hurt.
No, but he's going to be back next year.
Right. Oh. So this would be year one of him sitting because he physically can't play right now.
I know, but if they give Darnold a 4-year deal, then McCarthy wouldn't get in there forever. It's going to be.
We thought the exact same thing about Michael Penix. Why draft a guy 8th overall?
Okay, well then if you think that's going to happen, you don't want to give somebody a huge contract. You want to pick a bridge quarterback. Use a bridge quarterback to get to McCarthy.
The Atlanta Falcons literally did that this offseason.
I don't know.
They gave Kirk Cousins $45 million per year to be their starter. He didn't look good from the very beginning in week 1 against the Pittsburgh Steelers, and they waited until now to put in Penix. $45 million. And now he's probably going to get released by the end of the year. Daniel Jones signed a $40 million a year contract, and he's gone after 2 years. I'm not saying he stays the full 4 years.
Well,
JJ McCarthy's turning 21? He's an incredibly young quarterback.
I don't think that either team spent that kind of money with the expectation that those things were going to happen.
Then why draft a quarterback 8th overall for 4 years down the line? It makes no sense.
That's what I'm saying. I think they'll go to a bridge. If they really believe in McCarthy, they'll go to a bridge quarterback. And McCarthy will be in there by week 6 or 7.
So do you want to go compete for Super Bowls, or do you want to be middle of the pack until you get to JJ McCarthy? Because Sam Darnold's out here competing for a Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah, he is. And
Daniel Jones will send you directly into the ground.
Yeah. Well, I'm saying if the Vikings make it to the Super Bowl,
they don't even need to make it to the Super Bowl. They went 14-2, potentially 15-2. Yeah. With Sam Darnold, who was absolutely shattered by the Jets. He was seeing ghosts. He goes to the Panthers, plays okay, nearly beats Tom Brady in his last year.
Sports outlets are saying that the Vikings want him back. The Vikings want him back.
I absolutely would. If he wants $50 million, I just be okay. I'll give you $41 million for 1 year. You could be our starter, and if you perform well, there you go, 3-year contract.
What the competition might be for him. You know, the competition, he'll get some offers. He may not get the offer he wants from the Vikings to stay. He may get a better offer from somebody else.
It doesn't matter. They could just franchise tag him. He could talk to whatever team he wants. The Patriots, the Giants, the Jets. Who cares? The Vikings should just be like, okay, yeah, we'll franchise tag. We want you back.
I don't think the Patriots will be making an offer to him.
You'd be surprised. They're
going to make an offer to him. They have Drake May.
They currently are looking for a head coach in my guess, because Gerard Mayo, it was worse than Bill Belichick at his worst.
Yeah,
and that's saying
I think Gerard Mayo will be there another year for sure.
At least, I don't know, Mike Vrabel's available. Ben Johnson's available. How many other great head coach or coordinators are going to be available? Gerard Mayo was homegrown, and it's ended up, maybe you kept him around a little too long. It's not looking good. Hi, everybody. Thank you for watching this clip of the Harvey Hour. If you want to watch the full show, you can by clicking the I in the top right-hand corner right now. If you want to take the show with you on the go, it is available wherever you get your podcast. We go live here on YouTube every single Tuesday and Friday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern. So make sure you hit that like button, that subscribe button, and the notification bell to get notified whenever we upload a video and whenever we go live.